Before we watch that, though, chat, you guys know him. You guys love him. It's Dennis Prager on a channel I never watch. I have been many times as a politics corn on the internet. I have been many times accused by right-wingers of watching the Young Turks. I'm a big Turk head, I guess. I actually don't watch them at all, ever. I have limited knowledge of the lore here. I didn't like. Apparently, they have emotes or something on Twitch. I don't know if they were on Twitch. I have some talk. I have some interactions, limited interactions with. I mean, I guess Kyle Kalinske. Ravana, who does some work there. I mean, not a lot. I don't really watch this shit, but I do watch a lot of Dennis Prager. I'm a big fan of DP, chat.
Ache to have them on our shows.
Looking forward
to debate them, but they won't debate us, and they won't come on our shows, and they won't have us on their shows.
Why? I can't think of a single reason that Dennis Prager wouldn't take me seriously and have me on his show. What do you mean? I'm chomping at it. I'll go on Dennis Prager's show. I'm high as fuck right now, too. It'll be good content, man. Let's do it. I'm in. Count me in. A denhead? Big denhead, dude? Yeah, I'm a denhead. I'd call myself a denhead. Prager Ewan? Hard, dude.
I have offered tens of thousands of dollars to any left-wing columnist on the New York Times.
Wait a second. I didn't know I could get paid for this. I'll take some money, too. I was going to do that shit for free, but now, you just negotiated yourself into a payday for your boy. I'll take $100. Or tens of thousands of dollars. Maybe I should respect myself more. How much for a half an hour with Dennis Prager to talk about anything? Although I'd love to do more time. I'll even give you a rebate. Third hour's free. $250 an hour. Let's do it. $250 an hour. Easy.
To debate me anywhere they want. They could choose the moderator.
Bro, my living room. Boom. No moderator. That's my choice. Boom. $250 an hour. Boom. Cheap. And you got to smoke weed with me. And once we get you good and loose, cameras roll, no debate, just talking. Let's go, Dennis. That's how we should have presidential debates, by the way. They should be forced to sit in a living room with carpeted walls and something they've both seen before too many times to want to pay attention to, but it gives good background noise. Top Gun. Top Gun on like 5 volume. So it's not nothing, but it's not enough to like really hear anything. Just have that run on replay. And then just have Joe Biden and Donald Trump sit down, and they're forced to pass a joint back and forth to one another. And they have, snacks around, and they have to talk about what they disagree about. But I'm going to do that with Dennis Prager. That'd be fucking dope. In fact, I think that's how Senate should go, and marriages.
They could choose the audience and serious money.
It has to do.
Joining us now.
Pack all X with biddies. I would think you would want Hannah as your moderator. No.
Now is Dennis Prager, the man you just saw.
I don't want any moderator. I don't want Sarah to moderate me. Unless that's a euphemism.
On that video. And Dennis, I guess you could call TYT acetaminophen because we don't want you to ache. We want to make sure we give you an opportunity to feel good by debating someone on the left.
Funny because I was thinking if only you were a New York Times columnist, how much money you'd be making now.
Well, I'm a little more honest than a New York Times columnist. So this will be a great conversation. Thank you for doing it.
Wow, getting a little street cred with Dennis Prager. Love it. No, I don't think moderators are actually good for conversations at all. I think a mediator is fine. But that would only be like someone you could both look to and throw your fucking hands up and be like, can you help me here? Can you help me get through this? Like, and go, now I'm seeing, Donald, a propensity to lie a little bit. Do you think that you're lying a little bit to Joe, Don?
I wanted to.
Thank you for having.
My pleasure. So I wanted to just kind of start off with, I guess, disagreeing with the notion that the left is afraid to have these kinds of discussions or debates. In fact, you had tweeted that video that we started this conversation with, and there were a lot of responses from prominent individuals on the left. I want to give you a few examples.
Oh, come on. I replied, how can you not show me, bro? Prominent leftist actual change.
Starting with Vosh, who's a big Twitch streamer. He's got a big YouTube channel as well. He
Friend
says,
of the show.
You couldn't be more wrong. I love spirited debate in the free marketplace of ideas. He even provided his email and would love to have that conversation with you. My good friend, Ben Burgess, also responded. He's a great guy. He says, hi, Dennis. I'd be delighted to chat with you either on my show or you could host it.
Ugh, modern day debate got a shout out. Fuck.
Through PragerU, or I'm sure Modern Day Debate or some other neutral platform would be happy to host it. And on multiple occasions, I noticed that Sam Cedar would also love to debate you. So he responded in that tweet as well, saying available and adding, Tim Pool knows what lengths he would go to not even be on the same stage as me, right, Tim? So there's some drama with Tim Pool.
I appreciate calling him out immediately, though. That makes me feel good. Force Dennis to endure this. I like that.
But just wanted to let you know, you don't have to ache anymore. There are lots of people on the left who want to debate you.
Yeah. Uh-oh. What's he gonna say here? All of those are like what? Streamers, not New York Times columnists?
Oh, I have no doubt that there are a lot of people on the left. The issue that I raised was people at the New York Times and people like you, for example. You pleasantly surprised me by doing this, to be perfectly honest. And by the way, I think proof of my theory is a piece that I read on.
Is that a Ronald Reagan bust? That's fucking embarrassing. God, what a fucking embarrassing douchebag. We are built different, my friend. You know what I have in the background? Not a bust. I have a cat and her tower of flavors. That's how you know you can trust me, chat. I bear in my chambers the tower of flavors. And what is this rube offer you? A leather-bound chair and a bust of a dead man. When I behold you, when I bequeath upon you the tower of flavors. I'm sorry, Dennis. I was going to debate you, but you simply are not prestigious enough for me. Let me know when you get a Red Bull fridge in your background and a neon lamp that says Dennis Prager Twitch TV.
On some left-wing or progressive site just today about...
I do have a JVP bust. He's somewhere back there. Where's he at? There he is. There he is. He's looking upon the subscriptions, and he's like, I'm not the top lobster. I don't have 30,000 subscribers. And so he's disappointed in me. Chat! Immediately subscribe! Subscribe immediately! Or else Jordan Peterson's bust is going to have to look over me with disdain.
How angry many of your viewers are that you're having me on. Whereas I will...
Wait, what? I don't think I'm... Wait. Are we like, no, we can't platform Dennis Prager? I think people are mad. I think people are just like, this guy sucks. I don't think anyone's like mad that Dennis Prager showed up. I could be wrong. That's not the vibe I'm getting.
Tell you, I would get no such feedback from the right if I had a left-wing person on my show. They would be thrilled.
Do it.
So
Do it.
I still stand by my belief that in general, the people certainly in the higher echelons of the left don't want to debate.
The higher echelons. Oof. Fucking cut to the core, dude.
But it's probably not worth debating whether there would be such a debate I presume we're having one now.
Yes,
and,
yes.
I'm glad we are.
Well, look, the left isn't a monolith. There's a lot of disagreement on the left. There's certainly a lot of disagreement on things that I say on this show on various issues, even when it comes to crime. I'm sure you've noticed some of the backlash I've received in that regard as well. However,
because you're not a leftist, you're a fucking suckdem. I sung it. It's okay though. Anna, I would love to talk to you about that. Even though I think like I don't think Anna vibes with this shit. Maybe I'm wrong. She's like very professional, you know what I mean? And like has like respect for her colleagues. I simply do not share in these things. So you know, she's like corporate and professional and responsible and adult. And wrong about stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of Young Turk stuff, but you know, usually when I disagree with her, it'll come across on Twitter. Someone will say something, and it'll be like a little clip where she's like, "Yeah, actually, I like cops when they're taking care of homeless people on the side of the road, so I don't have to see that shit," or something like that, some lib shit. And it's like, yeah, you know, come on, man, come on. Some Nancy Pelosi, I'm with her riding with Biden shit.
I will say there is a reason why the right wing tends to be more open to having these kinds of discussions and debates, and the left wing gets a little uneasy about it. And it's because there has been this prevalence of.
No, I've never reached that data. I have no interest in talking to any Young Turks people. Not that I have disinterest in it. I'm really neutral about it. I'll talk to anybody. In fact, I told you when it gets nice and cozy, I wanted to make sure we got these cooking streams. If you didn't tune in earlier, chat. If you weren't tuned in earlier, announcement. We have a GoPro. We've got the GoPro for the cooking streams. It's gonna go on my head. It's gonna be like a first-person shooter, but cooking. You're gonna love it. Anyway, anyway, when it gets really that was the first thing I want to get off. But when it gets cozy and nice and cold, and I'm stuck in this house all the time, this is probably something we will need an overlay for, but I don't know what to call it yet. Maybe as a community we can talk about it, but this is like in service to, would you ever reach out to Anna Kasparian? Sure. I'll talk to literally anybody. It's not like I'd be doing her favors by showing up on her shit, right? So, you know, it'd be like a thing if there's interest in it. I want to do a podcast where we just talk to somebody. I don't have like an agenda going into the talk. I just am talking to somebody about stuff, and I'll have questions that I want to know. But you know, I have a reputation for doing okay in conversations with people. I think I'm easy to talk to. So I like the fan call-ins are very chill and easy, and that's kind of the idea, except an extended thing with a creator or someone that we want to talk to. Maybe they could be anybody. And then, you know, I think that'd be good. I was trying to read, but you guys were talking about the cooking show. And you guys my brain slowed down because you guys were still back talking about the cooking show, because I think my stream is a little bit ahead of you right now. So anyway, yeah, we'll do more call-ins at some point for sure.
Prominent figures who identify as the left, right, or on the left,
up,
who then later start to, cozy up to right-wing figures, and then it turns out that they completely move to the right wing because they're essentially paid to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Again, I agree with Anna on a lot of stuff, for the record, and the Young Turks in general. Like, you know, there's a lot of overlap. So not to shit on the Young Turks or Anna. Yeah, that's true.
They're used as tools by the right wing to essentially spew right-wing talking points while purporting to still be on the left. In fact, Dave Rubin's a great example of that. Dave Rubin used to work with us. He identified as someone on the left.
Dave,
yeah, go ahead.
Forgive me, Anna. Dave Rubin made a video for PragerU, Why I Left the Left.
Oh, I know.
He does not, in fact, state to the world that he's still on the left. I don't know who you have in mind, so I can only address the one name that you gave. What? Dave Rubin acknowledges he's not on the left.
Yeah.
It's interesting because if I recall correctly, you had a conversation with Dave Rubin and how incredibly important it was that he was engaging in these discussions with you, discussions with the right wing. And you stated something very specific. I actually want to go to that video and I want to get your thoughts. Maybe you can elaborate on what you meant in this video. Let's watch.
I want you to continue to say you're a liberal because you're of great use to good values.
Well, don't worry, I'm not doing it for your use of me. I'm doing it for myself.
No. Yeah. It's like Christians who say to me, oh, we would love you to come to Christ, but you are so valuable to us as a Jew when you defend us Christians. Yeah. And they're right. You are valuable in the best sense of the word because America needs people who are clearly liberal and to be honest, and fall into the category of kosher as gay to say, hey, hello, the conservatives are not hate mongers. Hello, they should be heard. And maybe every so often you should read National Review or watch a PragerU video.
Dave Rubin's bag of slime, for the record. That's my official review of Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin is a bag of slime. Yeah.
So, Mr. Prager, you can understand why members of the left would feel a little uneasy when these discussions take place, because usually it's a sign that someone on the left got lured in with some billionaire cash, like Dave Rubin did.
Oh, okay. Well, well, that's an unfair statement. I don't accuse people on the left of having their positions because of money, and I don't think you should do that with regard to conservatives. Alan Dershowitz is not a right-winger, but Alan Dershowitz said to me, this Harvard professor who's very well known, he's lost all his friends because he defended Donald Trump in court. He didn't even vote for Donald Trump. Just merely defending his right to have a defense was enough for him to lose his friends. The assumption on the left is that if you're a conservative, you're a despicable human being.
I don't. Yes, but that's okay. The reason you're a despicable human being is because you're a conservative. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, it's true. There is nothing about conservatism that is tenable with being a reasonable human being. Not kinda yes, 100% yes. There is nothing good about a conservative approach to politics. Nothing that you think is good is good. All of it's bad, 100% of it. Because it's always like even anything that sounds good. I don't know, like purity culture is a great example of that. Like, sure, it makes a lot of sense to be like, hey, you don't want to be just all willy-nilly about your sexual partners. It's not always safe. But that's not what they say, right? No. I don't know. Being conservative with spending, even. Sure, we're conservative with spending on things that people need. What do you mean? No, they're dog shit people. Yes. If you're a conservative, you're dog shit. You're a dog shit. Not a dog shit person. The lump of shit who comes out of a dog's ass that people have to clean up and put in little baggies. That's what a conservative is to me. Okay? We should get more baggies. That sounds like a threat. Really, I just think you need to wipe your butts.
And this is a perfect example.
Trash cans.
The only reason Dave Rubin would have done it was for money. I don't know anybody on my side of the spectrum who holds their positions because of money.
The gay as fuck dragon.
Anyway,
really?
If you want to get
really?
money,
sorry.
There's a hell of a lot more money on the left anyway.
Really?
Oh my God,
really?
bro!
How is PragerU funded?
The Washington Post.
How is PragerU
funded? The
funded?
Washington Post. by people on the internet and by wealthy donors. But
wealthy donors.
Prager.
Hey, who wants to be my wealthy donor? Does anyone want to hire me to do this?
PragerU is pittance compared to the money that is available just to BLM. How much money was given to Black Lives Matter by the Ford
Not by
Foundation
billionaire donors. They certainly received quite a bit of money from individuals who wanted to donate to that cause.
Bro.
But if you think there's a lot of money on the left, I mean, you would be mistaken. But I do want to move off this because there are actual topics, issues that are worth discussing.
There's not a lot of money on the left, by the way, because we don't have billionaires that have money for us. That's why, like, we have plenty of like collective money, but only when we, you know, only when we can mobilize together. But even so, like, the billionaires have more fucking money, right? So
the richest zip codes vote Democrat. The wealth today in America is disproportionately for
individual homes with high median incomes with high education are voting Democrat. Yeah. By the way, you'll see that happen in communities with median wealth more spread out. And in places where there's a lot of poor people and one rich people, most of that'll be Republican. I'm just saying, it's weird. It's weird that the lords of the area would have had their subjects vote on their behalf. I mean citizens and constituents, of course.
Behalf of Democrats on the left wing. That's either a fact or not. Anybody could look it up.
There's a difference between voters in wealthy parts of the country and who ends up serving as donors, both for politicians, corporate politicians, of course, and for right-wing media.
True.
If you think left-wing media has major billionaire donors, again, you'd sadly be mistaken. But the information regarding PragerU, which, by the way, you're listed as an organization that's tax exempt, correct? And you're not supposed to be talking about political issues. But last time I checked, PragerU talks about a lot of political issues.
Well, then you haven't checked in a long time. For example, we never did a single video on Donald Trump, and that's not exactly political. We just did we put out a video a week. So we have 500 videos out.
So he's going to say that none of these are political. That's fascinating. We're not going to go to the website, though. Go to the YouTube. Well, go to the YouTube. Woke movie reviews. How follow your values. Stand up to cancel culture. How wokeness killed country music. Who cares about illegal immigration?
The population of
Why is Will Witt telling us this? He's just an e-boy. He is but a fuckboy. He has no expertise in this field. Fuckboy.
And we just put out one on Millard Fillmore. If you consider that political, most people never heard of it.
Gonna press X to
We're doing every single president. Many of our videos, probably at least half, are purely educational. So to tell you about every president, for example, Democrat or Republican, by some noted historian, it's a caricature of PragerU. For you to say that we are largely political.
PragerU describes itself as conservative. Like it's a conservative take, which by the nature of it being conservative is political. But listen, it is what it is. I do want to move on to other issues because there are actual political issues that you're here to discuss.
You can't make a point and then not let me respond.
Okay,
forgive me. Yes, you can be conservative, for example, socially, and not specifically. Politically generally means vote Republican. We don't tell people to vote anyway in any direction.
Didn't you just say vote Republican? You don't think Dennis Prager's ever put out a who to vote for situation? Come on.
But yes, we do believe that America is the finest country ever founded. If that makes us political, we're political.
Then you just lost your tax exempt status. He should.
So I want to move on to other statements you've made, other issues. You know, you do focus on culture war related issues, your distaste.
Do you think they'd let me do a 501c3?
Hatred for secularism. I want to start off without putting words in your mouth.
Like
show a video of something you said just yesterday on the Dennis Prager show that I thought was fascinating. So let's take a look at that and we'll discuss.
The computer sticker phenomenon is crazy. It was actually one of the biggest shocks I had.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
On your computer right here, people, instead of just having a blank back,
I see.
they would
have messages.
Yes. It would either be.
And what was the common message?
I heart women or just the female sign, you know, the circle.
Wait,
and the arrow.
I heart women on a woman's computer?
Yes.
All of this is proof to me that women need men. These women are manless. They may have hookups, but they're manless. And they might have been fatherless too. Ending with my generation, I would say, ending with the baby boomers, but certainly through then, a young woman thought a lot about, do I have a boyfriend? Mm-hmm. What will my wedding be like? What will I wear? Who will be there? Who will the guy be? That I believe is healthy and normal.
I have to say something nice? You redeemed say something nice? Ugh. Dennis Prager manages to get put into clothing that is somehow flattering to him. It's working. So, Holiday, I thought you said he has a good dong instead of a good dog. So that surprised me. He does have a dog. It's easy to have dogs, though. You just sort of have them.
For a young woman, it's a good thing. That has been knocked out by the feminist left.
Okay, as a leftist, I guess I just okay. I don't think it's healthy for a woman or anybody to constantly be thinking about who is going to be my boyfriend, who is going to be my love, and when will I get married, and how will I have kids, and like really pressing on that. That is not what I would wish for anybody. That seems stressful. I don't care though if that's what you like. If that's your decision, if your life is like, man, I just want a husband and kids and to be married. Fuck, man, that sucks. But if it makes you happy, like hopefully that wasn't reinforced at home. Like assume the ethically best situation for this, where this person just naturally just fucks with that. I'm cool with that. I don't care. If you guys want to have babies and stuff and you want to be married and have your picket fences and shit, I have no problem with that. I think, that's dope. I want you to be happy. I don't think any leftist is against the idea of families. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why the right would say that we're against them, but I don't know why any of them would truly believe it if they talk to any of us. I think the whole point of leftism is so that people, at least to me, like fundamentally speaking, what do we want through leftism? Like, what is the goal of, like, wherever you lean, you could be an anarcho-communist, you could be a syndicalist, it doesn't matter. What is the goal of that? The goal of that society is to maximize human well-being, right? And a lot of people consider family life to be part of that well-being, and I am among them. I think I agree. And so at the core of leftism is simply to have people have better family lives, even if that family is just them and a cat or them and 15 of their offspring. I don't care how your family arranges as long as it is right for you. And that's big fundamental differences between me and Dennis Prager or any other Republican, because Dennis Prager has a very specific vision on what your family should be. He thinks it should be a man, a woman, 2 children, a dog, a cat, a white picket suburban fence. But your life can be organized however you want as long as you are able to be happy and successful in that life. That's what I care about. I don't care how many partners you have. I don't care how many kids you have. I don't care how many pets you have. I don't give a fuck where you live. I just want you to have access to everything that you need to thrive, and we'll see what happens. Because I truly believe if everyone is provided with survival needs and they are left to pursue their desires, they will do so in ethical ways that will be helpful for society in general. Like, yeah, we're still going to have, crime and stuff every once in a while, especially of passion. We're still going to have interpersonal relationships. We're still going to have a complicated world, but I think we could take money, at least in most ways, right now, like overnight, we could undo money from a lot of things, and we could just have a beautiful sort of system that works for a very, very long time. Only sports ball and meat hunt for boy child. Hey, if you like... I love sports ball. I wasn't super fun with meat hunts, but if you want a boy child, that's awesome. Great. Do it. Who's that bus behind Dennis? That's Benjamin Franklin. That's Benny Franks. And he liked himself a Parisian prostitute. He liked it. Big time.
And if you think about it, you're
My
a
favorite
weak female.
facts about Benjamin Franklin involve him fucking.
So fascinating statements there. You seem to believe that women who love themselves, who love women, who feel confident about being women, tend to be manless and lonely. Do you genuinely think that?
Yep.
Do you think I'm manless and lonely? I think women rock.
I said that in general, women need men, and I've said 1,000 times that in general, men need women. The fact that that's controversial is a statement about what's happened to our culture.
But you got triggered by a story about women who have laptop stickers that just say positive things about women. Your mind immediately went.
Have a fantastic day.
Bravo, I'm actually one of Jalen.
To they might have daddy issues and
take
they're
a
lonely,
seat on the
they need men.
couch.
I want to understand your thinking. Like,
Okay,
what? How do you get to
explain
that conclusion?
It's if you had a heterosexual man, with 97% of men are heterosexual,
Boom, me.
with a sticker "I love men,"
Yeah.
you would wonder why. Why don't men have stickers "I love men"?
What do you mean? I love men, bro. Dudes are dope. Like, dudes rock is totally a thing, for the record. Dudes rock is absolutely a mantra that happens. It's just, we don't have laptop stickers. We have just Twitter accounts and stuff. And, like, social memes. There's a lot of positivity in male spaces, guys, especially nowadays. I shit you not. This is not a joke. Ted Lasso has vastly improved the mental health of every one of my friends. I'm not joking. It's genuinely a good show that you should show all your man folk, irrespective of political persuasion. In fact, especially if they don't agree with you. It's a really great show. And you'll like it too. Any person you think is dealing with toxic masculinity, just send them to our old Ted. It'll convince them that they are allowed to be okay people instead of shitbags. Now, luckily, I didn't have any of that. I didn't have to have any of my friends have that deep of a conversion, but it truly helped a lot of them. It's very great.
But you think it's perfectly normal and a non-issue that women would have stickers "I love women." What is the point of saying that? It is worthy of a question. And I don't think that 50 years ago this would have been, obviously there were no laptops then, but I don't think it would have been a common sentiment.
It's because it was 50 years ago, Dennis. What the fuck? Yeah, you old bitch. Yes. 50 years ago, we would have talked different. Smart. Wow, what a fucking brilliant thing, Dennis. Jesus Christ, what a powerhouse of intellect. Holy shit. Ronald Reagan would be proud.
I don't understand why women would need to announce "I love women"
Why?
if they're not a gay woman.
Wow, what a weak bitch. Why not? Why do you gotta be gay? What the fuck? What a triggered little pussy. I'm for free speech. Unless a woman says "I love women," then I'm freaking out. Shut up. God, you have a squirrel dick.
You tell me. I'm curious. What does that signify?
Well, I mean, listen, as an individual who values free speech and freedom of expression, I think that women and men can have whatever laptop stickers they want. And the reason why there is a difference between men and women in regard to those laptop stickers is because, I mean, when you really think about it, women.
No, but okay, but Dennis, she's not going to bring this up, so I am. When this is the problem. Right wingers, this is the problem of your logic when this happens, right? You'll have some outrage over a benign thing, a man having a sticker that says "I love men," okay? And you're like, that's fucking gay, and this is why men are fucking weak. That's just showing that men are little femboys nowadays, and manly men are. You've seen this before. A million times you've seen this. Like, there aren't manly men anymore. We need more testosterone. Okay? Have you ever seen more testosterone in your life? Behold. Okay? Behold. Hell yeah, Obi-Wan. I don't have Apple Plus. Anyway. Actually, it might not be an Apple. It might be on TNT. Doesn't matter. I don't care. Congrats, Albert. But I was waxing. So, the problem with the argument, again, very, very strong quotes here. When he says that it's not a free, I have the free speech to make a comment on it. I'm not saying that they don't have the free. You're saying that there's a systemically wrong issue with society at large when women have that free speech and say it, and you would prefer if they didn't do that. What do you mean? That is not pro-free speech. What are you saying? It's very inconsistent. It doesn't make sense. That's not a smart people thing. It's essentially at that point you're arguing, yeah, well, technically. No. I mean, just draw out the fucking conclusion. That's what you're arguing for. If you're arguing that it's systemically bad, you would make a systemic change, right? Anyway.
Didn't have the right to vote for a very long time. Women didn't even have the ability to apply for a credit card until the 1970s. There have been equality issues when it comes to men and women.
True.
Now, we're getting a lot better, that's for sure. But first of all, I don't agree that women have laptop stickers that just simply say, I love women. It's probably some sort of empowering statement for women, but that doesn't translate to, oh, I'm a lonely, manless person, and I should go back to the good old days when women sat around thinking about whether or not they're gonna find a husband and get married. You seem to push your values and your views on relationships onto other people. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is, rather than making generalizations about what's best for women, maybe allow people to live their lives as they see fit, have a belief system as they see fit. Okay. Why do you feel the need to force your beliefs onto other people? Go ahead.
Well, first of all, okay, I don't understand the word force. The fact that you think that if I offer my opinion, I'm forcing people to adopt it is a bit odd.
Because in offering your opinion, it is direct advocacy towards policies and politicians that enact your view of the world and enforce it on other people. That's why. That's how. Look, I smoked a bit of weed. I shouldn't be able to have my head wrap around that kind of thing. Okay? It's just implicit throughout all of it and then explicit throughout your actions. So, I mean, it's not like... I don't know why they do this sort of obfuscation thing. It's such a weird grift, bro. God, it must be soul-sucking. I could never be like that. For me, I could never be dishonest about that kind of shit. Like, if I feel a way, you guys hear about it. It just happens. To your dismay or not. The religion thing's a great example of that. I don't give a fuck. I have respect for your culture to a point. And then it becomes wacky. Unless you're white, I have no respect for you.
You don't believe that America should be secular, so what does that mean?
Wait. Let me finish that point.
Sure, go ahead.
I believe that I have the right, as you do, to offer people thoughts on what might be a better and happier life for them. I've written a book on happiness, which has touched a lot of lives if one wants to read reviews on Amazon.
He's had 3 divorces.
I believe, again, that in general...
Too neurodivergent for the grift? It would genuinely irritate me. I don't know if that's a divergence. I don't know. It feels like just conviction to me. I don't know how you are experiencing that, but for me it would just be, I don't know. I can't fucking... I'm not a great liar. Like, I have a genuinely hard time doing parody because I have a hard time empathizing with, like, right-wingers. It's actually part of a practice. I like D&D for this reason because I get to play villains a lot. And while I am naturally, obviously, America's hero in real life, just a golden eagle upon what should be a throne of corn and, I don't know, sluts probably. It's not derogatory. It's, what's the opposite of pejorative? Compliment. Corn and sluts.
Every generalization has exceptions. Most women will have a better and happier life with a good man, and most men will have a happier and better life with a good woman. I don't know why that is controversial to state. All I know is that having adopted the view that career is more important than marriage has led to more depressed women than anything that preceded it. There are more young women today depressed than at any time.
Do you think he's at all informed by his multiple divorces and failed marriages and relationships? And does he think that if women simply would stop divorcing him, that they'd be happier? Do you think that Dennis Prager at all sounds like a guy who has made these decisions about happiness in life based upon his inability to resolve the frictions in his past relationships? Or do you think it's because he's a wise man who's lived many years and has successfully navigated around in his relationships?
In American history. This is in the New York Times. This is not from a right-wing source. I think feminism has made women more miserable than happy.
So I'm going to address that in just a second, but I want to address what you said prior to that very quickly. So listen, I don't have a problem with someone saying women are likely to be happier in life if they find a partner to share their life with. I don't think that that's a controversial statement. What is controversial is you seeming to imply that feeling confident or supportive toward women and being happy, single or in a relationship, that it's mutually exclusive. Like you can't be supportive of women and have a happy life. Like the weird connection that you tried to make there makes no sense. What was the final thing that you said?
I was speaking about the depression among women in today's time.
That's a great point. And you know what, that's right. There's actually increasing rates of depression and anxiety among men and women. I think that's important to point out. And you are concluding that it's because of, I guess, the breakdown of the traditional family.
Capitalism.
People who remain single.
I think that the belief that many young women have that they if they find a man, that's a great thing, but the thing that will really,
I mean genuinely, just ask, what is your number one, like, or not even number one, what are your top like 5 concerns as a young person? And almost all of them will say, you know, if it's not stuff like climate and shit like that, like specifically a young person just kind of coming out of college, like, how am I going to find some place to live? Like specifically like rent or buying a house, like the cost of this thing, the cost of education, the cost of loans, the cost of healthcare, and then somewhere in there will be a partner, but oftentimes the partner thing will be contingent on the living space. All of it's tied to economics. You know, they might have their little personal things like, oh, I want to accomplish this or that, but like the broad strokes, most people are just fucked because of the way that we chose to run the world. It's bad. Paul the Potato, you're watching the same thing?
Bring them joy in life.
But you're not watching it with a guy in a corn suit.
Massive numbers of women into a less happy life. Career is not as terrific as the feminists portrayed it as being. The joy available for most women with a good husband and making a family is incomparably more than from a career.
Have you considered some of the economic issues within this country that don't really give women a choice as to whether or not they should focus on a career?
That's a very real issue. I fully acknowledge that. That if you don't have a career to fall back on and there's a divorce, that you're entirely right. That is not the same thing as saying career is going to give you a great deal of meaning and happiness like a marriage will. You're entirely right.
Is that what she was
Economically speaking, there is value in having a fallback career. I fully acknowledge that.
But I'm going further than that, because the idea that a family can live in a single income household today is laughable. That is incredibly difficult to do. And so while the right wing and you yourself seem to have this idea that, well, you know, women should focus on marriage, they should focus on building a family. First of all, you can't force anyone to do that, right? But let's say you want to encourage women to focus on that. You want to give them the choice, but you want to encourage them. A great way to encourage them is to create an economic system in which people feel comfortable knowing that they can survive on a single income household. I'm talking about when they're married. Okay, both individuals in a marriage have to work in order to be able to pay their rent, pay their mortgage, put food on the table for their children, educate their children. Wages have remained stagnant since the 1970s. Women don't have a choice as to whether or not they can work or whether or not they should just focus on raising children. They don't have the choice. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Right, and we differ on that because the reason that many women, not all, but perhaps most even,
how can you differ on that?
Are working is not just economic, especially certainly in the upper class, upper middle class, and even part of the middle class. It is because they believe that their self-worth derives more from work than it does from family.
Wow, do you think any of the propaganda that you push into capitalism could have anything to do with people tying their value, their literal human value, to the amount of capital they make, wow, that sounds weird. And then also adding that stress doubly on men, which is absolutely a thing. If you're one of those MRAs, how are you a capitalist? Capitalism hurts men socially in a lot of ways by placing a tremendous amount of stress. That's why a lot of suicide statistics are pretty bad. But it doesn't, as we get deeper into this, the gender gap is not that big on the stress of that, because it's like now everyone's got to work. Like that was, in fact, the argument that is even like applicable to just fellas and the social pressures is kind of going away. Because when I was growing up, my experience was very much your masculinity is deeply rooted and tied to your ability to take care of women around you, essentially, or kids or whatever. You know what I mean? Like your family. Like, and if you weren't able to do that, you were like literally like a piece of shit, worthless scumbag. And to some extent that's true depending on what's going on, but like, you know, some people are just, you know, can't work or don't have money and just can't do the things, you know what I'm saying? So like I guess a deadbeat, but not actually a deadbeat, right? Just poor. Like there's a big difference, and there's not much distinction in these spaces, and like it's pretty fucking toxic. And then, you know, of course, that just runs downhill. So, fucking, if the head of the house, because that's what they've been taught culturally, right, isn't being the proper head of the house, then, you know, I mean, that's when huge familial issues start. Yeah, it's absolutely impossible. It's really, really bad. Here's the thing, though. Dennis Prager will die someday, along with everybody else his age and older. They will all fucking perish, and we will inherit the earth, and we can do better, chat. We're so close. This next election, chat, we gotta really do the good stuff, chat. We gotta just push a little bit. I feel like we're so close. We can't let them fucking scratch and claw and keep this extending their death. They keep extending their fucking death knell. We're letting the Republicans hang out in this stupid area when we could just crush them finally. We need to crush them.
If a girl got up in a high school or college class, let's say a professor or a teacher said, so women, I mean, to the extent that they can now say that, because you can't say boys and girls in many elementary schools.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Look, I don't understand how you can advocate to be like a good man without being decent to people. Like everything that I was taught about being like a man, right, was like kids and women, you don't hurt. Other men, fucking ravage their bodies. Who cares? Beat the shit out of them. They mean nothing, especially if they're different than you. They don't matter as much. I don't understand how being cruel to these people makes any sense in regards to how they say that we ought to live, even from a Christian perspective. I just don't understand it. Like, even if you truly don't believe that somebody is whatever they say they are, which I do believe, what's the benefit to you to throw a fucking fit about it? Why doesn't another it genuinely has no bearing on you. It's such a fundamental aspect of freedom to live however you want in your own body. It is bizarre to me on a human level that anyone would give a fuck at all. It genuinely, it's not a prejudice that I can even come up to like greet with any sincerity. Like, it just doesn't feel like it doesn't even feel intuitive Like, I could understand how somewhere in our lizard brain, someone's like, you're different than me in enough ways that it makes me feel scared. That is a primal thing that I think you can identify with, whether it's human or just like something spooky, or I don't know. I could see how our brains could come up with that prejudice, and then that could involve itself socially over our evolution. But like, people wearing non-gendered clothing, like, this has been a thing forever to varying cultural levels, and I just don't understand why it matters to me what would happen with somebody else. This has been a hallmark of conservatism. They care so much about everybody else's fucking life. It's not small government. It's incredibly invasive. I'm a straight het cis guy. Like, I'm like his like what's the word I'm looking for? We share a demographic, and it just is so repulsive to me from like a political perspective, not in like an ethical way. Like, obviously, sure, like, trans rights, like, you know, we do that here, but I mean, like even on a purely just like, I don't know, the most cynical I can possibly be without being like, I have friends that are trans and I love them deeply and want them to succeed. Just in a fucking, that's not how shit should work way. It bothers me. I don't know. It's so fundamentally fucking dumb. Anyway. Because
we're told by your side that sex is not binary. But let's say they say, we'd like the women in this class, please stand up and tell us what your vision for your life is. If a girl got up in a college class and said, you know, to be honest, my greatest hope in life is for a good marriage and to make a family. Dope. Fuck yeah, man. I hope you get that. That's the genuine, honest leftist perspective. I don't know why he thinks that anyone would have a different take. The only way I would have a different take is if I knew that person and it was like, oh, they're just repeating what they think they should say. It's not actually what they believe. Like, usually the concern is that person only wants that thing, or it's a religious motivation, like I'm quiverful and I want to fucking, you know, bring about the apocalypse kind of bullshit. I'm a Mormon kind of shit. But if it's just like, if you're just a person, you just want to be a trad core mommy, I'm down with that, dude. I know people like that. I'm with it. I don't care. Do that. I want you to live that life. If that would make you truly happy, fucking yes. She would be regarded as almost a freak.
Would she? I mean, what is that based on? Yes, what evidence do you have to back that up?
I live in the real world.
So do I.
Okay, and you believe that if a girl got up and said that, she would be regarded with the same respect as the girl who said, I'd like to be a physicist.
Yeah. If she was like, yeah, I genuinely, you know, honestly, I just want to kind of be a mom. I'd be like, all right, I feel that. Fuck yeah, do it. I'm in. That's not in opposition to any political belief I hold or any sort of ethical thing. I don't have a lot of opinions on how you should live your life, I suppose. I wouldn't have had this take as a liberal either.
I believe that most normal people are too busy thinking about how they need to survive and are less concerned about the aspirations of individuals in their classroom. And so if you have data backing up that women who want to be homemakers are persecuted in this country, I'd love to see that data. And I wouldn't agree with that persecution.
Never said they're persecuted.
You seem to imply that they're being victimized by wanting to be homemakers, and I just don't buy it.
Okay, fine. So good. This is a classic example of what I say on my radio show. I prefer clarity to agreement. You think that a girl who got up in a college class and said my most fervent dream is to have a happy marriage and a family will be regarded with the same respect as a girl who said I'd like to be a physician or a physicist. We differ. Perfect. Okay.
All right. And again, if you have data backing up what you're saying, then I'm happy to admit I'm wrong.
Data? The teachers don't do this and then set into a computer.
So you're just declaring, you're making up stories about how women are treated in the classroom, and we're just supposed to buy it?
So anecdotes? You're relying on anecdotes you made up, Dennis, to vibe. You're just on vibes. and you're saying these are fundamental systemic problems with the country and with our culture, and based on these vibes, we need to make systemic sweeps. It sounds like you have sort of this like main characters thing going on, and like some sort of impotence over your own life where you maybe don't have your own enough control of your own shit or something that you think you need to lord it over other people. I don't know what's going on here, man. You need your balls played with or something, just empty it out once and get some clarity and then reassess the problem. Because I think it's you. I don't think it's everybody else.
Okay.
We're each giving the perception of reality that we have.
That
Not every perception of reality has a database. Otherwise, one is a functional moron if one cannot make conclusions about life without data.
This isn't like a data thing, though. Like, again, you're making a... You could say, like, oh, man, it sucks that one class is like that. You don't get to, like, then apply it to every other class in America because you feel like that's the situation. Because that is not my experience as one of the leftists you're talking about. None of us would act like that. In fact, I think a lot of people would gas that person up and be like, okay, and then send them, like, pictures of sundresses and, like, make memes about it because they want to be a trad mommy. I think that's fine.
Okay, all right. So let's move on to right-wing violence. Following the Buffalo supermarket shooting, which of course was inspired by a belief in a conspiracy theory that whites are being replaced with minorities in this country purposely to keep Democrats in power, you felt the need to kind of downplay right-wing extremism in this country. And you said, quote, "This man represents such an infinitesimally small segment of the white population." Now, while that statement might be literally true, I don't think that the white population in America mostly consists of domestic terrorists, so I agree with you on that. It seems like you kind of want to brush aside the very real problem we're having in this country with political violence, politically motivated violence. And I want to give you a few other examples. For instance, the Southern Poverty Law Center did a poll and found that 7 out of 10 Republican voters believe in that white replacement conspiracy theory. Are you concerned about that at all?
Oh, fuck. Do you think he believes in white replacement, chat? I think he does.
Right now, we have had, I believe, 2 million illegal immigrants.
Uh-oh.
And the Democratic president of the United States has opened our border. There was attempt to close the border to illegal immigration. So I will ask you, and I mean this not even as a challenge, I'm curious. Mm-hmm. Why do you think people on the left want millions of people to come in legally or illegally?
People on the left. I have a different answer. For depending on who you're talking about. I have an answer for Democrats, like Nancy Pelosi, and I have an answer for me, a leftist. I'll answer for me first because who am I but myself? The reason I want people to be able to come to the country is because they're seeking political asylum or, they're seeking asylum in our country for protection for their own well-being. And that's the end of it. That's the whole thing, because I think that they should have the freedom to move, because I don't believe in, the idea that human beings are inherently some kind of threat. I'm fine if, for national security purposes, it makes pragmatic sense, understanding the world we live in, that people need to be monitored and people need to be filtered through, and that's fine. I understand the pragmatic sense. Philosophically speaking, I think borders are fucking stupid, but you've already placed them and done all the bad stuff. We can't just undo it by ripping the Band-Aid off, so of course you're going to have border security to some extent as we wean ourselves off of xenophobia. But we have it right now. We have a lot of it. The answer for the Democrats is because capitalism. A lot of different answers. Some of it's labor. Some of it is they agree with me and it's a humanitarian thing. And some of it is they hope that they will turn states blue. I'm sure a lot of it's cynical. But that doesn't matter because, like, what is the motivation of the people trying to get in here is the real reason. That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter what Nancy Pelosi's take is, even though I think it's probably has something to do with lining her fucking lizard pockets. She actually has pockets in her lizard skin like a monotreme would have. Like a flesh pocket where she keeps her young.
Well, let's first discuss the inaccuracies in your statement. Number one, there are legal means to immigrate into the United States. So, for instance, the asylum seekers who are being used as political pawns by people like Texas Governor Greg Abbott, I'm not done, or Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, they came into this country seeking asylum, meaning they are here legally and they are awaiting a federal judge, an immigration judge, to make a decision about their asylum status. Okay, so the idea that the border is open and people are just pouring in illegally is inaccurate.
Yes, no, it is accurate.
No, it's inaccurate.
Good. So this is the perfect example of where we differ, and there's no reconciling.
What do you mean there's no reconciling? One is reality.
Either you're right or I'm right. Either millions are coming in illegally, but whom you are calling legal because they're all seeking asylum. Do I hear you correctly?
We have a system in place for asylum seekers. So
there's a big difference between walking across, like, I don't know, man. It depends on how they get here, man. Yes, there's a system. I'm fine with there being a filtration system. I wish it was more humanitarian. I have absolutely no problem with offering humanitarian aid. We are a land of bounty. We have the ability to improve people's lives. We should be doing this for our own citizens, but yeah, we can do it for everybody else too. And we can, frankly, we can just domino effect that out. And one world communities. Well, not really. I mean, you don't break up in your own shit anyway. But like, why do we have to have a system of any of this? But cat's out of the bag, so we have to deal with it.
So are you saying that we should do away with that system? And if you are saying that, then it would require members of Congress to pass legislation that reforms our immigration system. But I mean, I think you'll agree with the statement. Members of Congress have no interest in passing any legislation or engaging in any immigration reform. We have companies and businesses that are exploiting undocumented immigrants for cheap labor, and they have no recourse. That exists. But they love the theater. Members of Congress love the theater.
For the record, I spit on corporations. They are woke and they are abusive of labor at the same time. So
that's not what woke is, bro. God, he's so fucking stupid.
You're not going to get any defense from me or any conservative of big corporations.
Not true. Not true. It's not it's because Coca-Cola, the customer facing corporations are the ones that you fucking don't support. Pepsi, Disney, those big corporations. What about Coke? With the CH and a K? The Koch brothers. What about other billionaire donors that aren't necessarily corporations but fucking people and entities and fucking conglomerates, PACs, super PACs, funds? That's who we're talking about. We're not talking about fucking Coke. Come on, bro. We're talking about the people that work behind the scenes in these fucking conglomerates. They create all these these other corps that you fucking deal with. Shut up. God, slime.
I can't stand them. The fact that Disney will not even allow people at their amusement parks to say boys and girls anymore gives you an idea of how sick they have become in the wokeness of this non-binary evil. And that I do believe is evil. To tell little children you don't know if you're a boy or a girl until you decide. Do you think that's healthy?
That is actually not what anybody says. You don't know if you're a boy or a girl or whatever until you decide. No. I don't think you decide that. I think you are it. It's totally different. It's not like a willy-nilly, I guess I'm just gonna, I suppose I feel this way. Like, people aren't really treating their gender like that. It's just like, how do you feel? I don't know. What do you want us to call you? Right now, you're a baby. I named you, I don't know, fucking Jakey. I named you Jakey. Okay? And then, like, you're 6 years old, and then you're asking questions like, hey, why do you guys call me Jakey? I'm like, well, that's what we named you. We named you Jakey. After me. Because you look like me. I don't know. I'm interviewing my fake 6-year-old son, Jakey, who I would never name that. And then they're like, well, I feel like anything. I don't know. What's something else? I feel like Sarah E. Huh? See how I did that? Very smart. I'd be like, cool. And then that's it. I don't know. You want us to call you that? I mean, I've been calling you, knowing me, I've been calling you Booger Butt for 6 years. So, I mean, like, yeah, your name is a little flimsy to me. Honestly. You're only, like, legally Jakey. Really, to me, in my heart, you're Booger Butt. So, yeah, I guess what you call yourself means really little to me, and I'm down with that if that makes you feel good. That's the vibe. That's it. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like, you just sort of are who you are. I don't care. What I hope as a parent in my head is that you're just a dope person. Someone that I fuck with, you know? That's what I hope. Is that hopefully I didn't fuck you up too much and that you turn out to be an okay person, one that I would be cool with hanging out with. And if you're a person that I want to hang out with, you're probably someone I did a good job with, right? I feel like that's pretty okay. Hopefully you're better than me. I had some mistakes along the way. Just don't turn out like Dennis. Pretty easy. Takes a lot of pressure to become this.
I think it's unhealthy to spend the amount of time you spend in judging decisions that parents make about their own children. I think it's none of your business. I don't think it's anyone's business. And schools are not doing anything close to what the right wing is describing. I mean, it is amazing because you talk about Alan Dershowitz, who had written a column in the New York Times about how it should be okay to have sex with underage girls, okay? You don't call him a groomer, but you'll call our educators who have done nothing wrong, just to create an environment that's welcoming to all students. You'll call them groomers, you'll defame them as some sort of sexual predators, and it's unacceptable. Just being clear about that.
I never call them groomers. You have the wrong guy. But a teacher that has the kids in kindergarten attend a drag queen story hour.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't understand what I don't understand why drag queens are inherently bad for children. I actually don't know. Can they watch movies where men and women wear clothes that aren't what they would wear in real life? Like, can drag queens not? Because drag queens are specifically a performance. Drag queens are not trans. Drag queens are a performance. It is a character. It is one that's fun, usually. And it's just like a thing, but it's not like, I don't know. Like Mrs. Doubtfire, right? It didn't fuck me up. I thought it was cool. I thought Mrs. Doubtfire was cool. Now I think it's a little toxic and weird, chat. Have a discussion, whatever. But, hello! Good movie. Yeah. But, I mean, I just don't understand it. Yeah, as a parent, I have no issue with drag queens at all. Being ridiculous. For some reason, I feel like you're being facetious. The drag queen shows I've seen have been very sexual. At libraries? The drag queen shows at libraries that you've been to during story hour have been very sexual? Because that's like, what? Because I've been to drag queen and king shows that have not been sexual, that weren't at libraries and were just for adults, and they weren't very sexual. I've been to comedy shows far more sexual than drag queen shows. No, in clubs. Yeah, so in clubs. So there you go. That's a different venue and thing. So, is that it? It's a bar. It's a bar there. It's not a public library at all, is it? Damn. It's not even close to a library. Were there books there? I've been to a restaurant where they serve the receipt in a book. It is almost like different things are different. That is weird. Damn. Okay. Bar library. I actually think a bar library would be kind of dope. Just check out a book, grab a seat in a comfy chair, get a drink, smoke something. Fuck yeah. Get a little dude, that's an amazing idea. A book lounge, where you can like hang out with folks, do a little talking, like a Barnes and Noble, but with a little alcohol, a little loungy atmosphere, warm. Women strip at strip clubs. Ban women at schools. True. Strippers don't get to be moms. It's actually a take. I guess we can watch this last second of the PragerU thing. Let's just finish it out. But anyway.
To see a guy in a dress dancing erotically in front of them.
Erotically? Whoa. I didn't know it was erotic.
Those teachers are what we would have called 10 years ago sick. They are depriving children of sexual innocence. And if that's not a sin on the left needs to do a lot of introspection.
I guess if it was sexual, how old are the kids? Are they teenagers? Because I don't know if you realize this, teenagers have sexuality. But yeah, it's a public library. I've never seen these claims bear out. I could be wrong, but drag queen shows started in... Okay, boy. I thought you said you'd been to drag queen shows. Interesting. Was it a lie? Did you lie to me, Bulletproof Baldy? Did you lie to me? How could you... I could be wrong, but drag queen shows started in clubs and were always sexual in nature. Now they have changed to completely non-sexual shows? Did you lie to me about your viewership of drag queens? Huh, how fascinating, how strange and exciting, how unexpected that someone would come in here and lie to me on the drag queens or sexual topic. That's strange. Damn. I've never seen them be sexual more than like PG-13. I've seen PG-13. Like, I would say The Mask is more sexual than any drag queen show I've been to. I would say there are Disney movies far more sexual than any drag queen shows I've been to. So, yeah. Bulletproof Baldy. Can't shoot a bullet through this one. The drag queen shows I've seen have been very sexual. Have they now changed to completely non-sexual? I mean, it sounds like you have not been to any drag queen shows. Does Rocky Horror count as a drag queen show? Sure. People who complain about drag queen shows and drag queens being sexual are attracted to drag queens, and that's not our problem. Take your sexual repression out of everyone else. It sounds like... I mean, okay, to me, it's not a terribly, like, attractive situation. It doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be... Like, I don't think the goal of any drag queen is to be, like... as desirable as possible. It seems to be as loud and as fun as possible with sometimes, like, usually it's like cleavage or blush or lips or eyes or hair or nails, I guess, that are like particularly long. But I've never seen it like really explicitly sexual. It's always been about the performance of the character and the sort of bombast, like how fun can it be? How, like, it's usually very snappy and it can be a little sassy sometimes, or it could be just comedy, but it's almost always for fun and to add energy to the space. It's never been a sex thing. Burlesque maybe is what people are thinking of, but that's not drag. Yeah, it just seems to be like an expression of all this, and I don't know, it depends on the drag show. Like, I was to a drag show that the point wasn't to express gender or anything like that. It was just pride, and they were just adding drag queens and kings to the celebration of pride, and it was just one of those. I've seen drag at comedy clubs before. I don't know, like, it's a weird take to have to apply some kind of sexual nature to these drag shows that would make your pee-pee move. Lots of innuendo. No, not really. Not in any way that would make me say, kids, cover your fucking eyes. Maybe if I was like a weak bitch weirdo. That's probably what it is. I figured it out. It's weirdo behavior, and you are very much thinking about kids' sexuality when sexual things come up. Because I don't think about kids' sexuality when sexual things come up at all. Especially not at a fucking library. I don't think. No. I don't think most bigots are No. I don't think they're most. No. You got me wrong, DB. I am not saying that they are secretly closeted. I don't think it's a repression thing. I think it's a. Well, at least not on a personal level. I think it's a. Just a general repugnance from a conservative space about masculinity, and I think some people it makes their pee-pee move, but I think it's masculinity is so strange. He's just insecure about this shit. If a man can be comfortably male while being traditionally, whether it's attractive or otherwise, but enough of a, it's about the, in my experience with men, it's about the trick of the whole thing, right? It's about like, the drag queen's passable, and therefore all media has shown me that that's like a threat. But that means they don't ever equate that with like themselves and their own thoughts about what they would do if they could trick people. They always make it to be something it's not, because they're fucking insecure about that shit, and they're weirdos. It's always weirdos. Not a normal person doesn't see somebody else enjoying themselves in a PG-13 way or less and goes, how will they prey on the others and the young? How will they prey upon? That's not normal people thoughts. You're a fucking weirdo if that's your thought. That is just not how it goes. No, I've never felt that way about drag ever. There were kids at Pride. It was broad daylight. There was a stage, and you could walk up and watch people do drag. And by watching them do drag, they lip synced and did performances to songs. What the fuck about that is sexual? Even if they were wearing anything with cleavage in it, even if they were wearing like high heels, even if they had like robust lips or anything, or even if their name was fucking Mama Loves Cock. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a drag name. Someone has Mama Loves Cock, but it's Loves Cock is one word. Definitely somebody has that name. Even if that was it, like, unless you explain innuendo to your children, they're not going to get it. It's for you. Like, have you ever been to a movie with like a kid's movie, and they make jokes for just the adults that's just on the edge enough of like no child is ever going to get this joke, but the adults do? This happens in movies all the time. Many of them are sexual. It's only because it's heterosexual that people are like, oh, it's normal and fine. So I'm just saying. His Majesty, Your Grace, and Zysurge, thanks for following, both of you. I appreciate it. All right, let's finish this little itty-bitty bit.
I would love for you to apply standards like that to the former president of the United States, who you supported, who you endorsed. You have completely minimized some of the scandals that he was involved in, including paying hush money to adult entertainers he had cheated on his pregnant wife with. I'm bringing that up because you have this weird standard when it comes to our educators, but no standards when it comes to a person who leads the country, who children look to as a role model. But anyway, we only have a few more minutes left.
No. If you throw out a point, you have to allow me to respond.
Okay, go ahead. We're running out of time. We have a hard out, so go ahead.
When I was a child, my father didn't say to me, I want you to look to Lyndon Johnson as a role model. This notion that the president's private life, John F. Kennedy had orgies at the White House. Okay, do you speak about that?
Beast!
I don't care about presidents' private lives. You do. I care about sexualizing children. You don't.
No one's being sexualized.
I care about
It's not
fighting back against lies regarding educators sexualizing children. That is not happening. But you guys do love to defame educators who are already underpaid, undervalued, and should be treated a lot better in this country. So I would love to continue this conversation. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. I'd love to invite you to our members only bonus episode if you're willing to stay for another 30 minutes. I don't know if you're open to that.
Yeah, I am.
Fantastic. Okay, great.
Thanks for watching.
I will not be watching the extended cut, the Snyder cut of the TOIT Dennis Prager video. I'm out. That's the end of it. Dennis Prager is just wrong about everything. Anytime we watch Dennis Prager, it'll take an hour because he's wrong on purpose so consistently. It's ridiculous. He's the day he perishes from this earth, and hopefully his much of the propaganda that comes out of there, like the Jack Chick situation, with the chick tracks. Hopefully it dies with him because he is harmful. And many people like him, like Rupert Murdoch and all the Fox people, very, very harmful for the country. There shouldn't be... There's something about the way that these guys can make money off of the thing they do that is gross to me. Even though it's essentially no different than my job. But I feel like the way they do it is so nefarious and harmful that I don't know how to ban it even. I don't even know what to do with it. It just seems like they're straight up lying and they shouldn't be allowed to do the fucking just gross counter propaganda thing. But it runs into free speech enough to where it's like, I don't even know how to reconcile that. But I mean, like, there's clearly something we can do. I mean, the way that I want to do it is just to incentivize everybody to live a good life. But, you know, not allow them to make capital on such a thing. They can't capitalize on that. You can do it, but it can only be for free. But that would have to be a situation where everyone's needs were met because that's how some people make their job or their living.